Mhm.
20 more seconds and then we just got to go.
Good morning and welcome to the National Newspaper Publishers Association's Let It Be Known. It is Tuesday, the 27th of September, 2022, and it's Black Caucus Week, CBC Week, and the Congressional Black Caucus Foundations is hosting its annual legislative conference here in the nation's capital. Lots to expect. The president, the vice president will speak at the Phoenix Awards. There'll be celebrities, there'll be personalities and politicians galore. Also, the National Newspaper Publishers Association is hosting its leadership reception. William Barber, Dr. William Barber, NABOB President Jim Winston, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, and Tennessee State President Dr. Glenda Glover will all be recipients of the NNPA's 2022 Leadership Awards. Also, the NNPA will announce 2 HBCU scholars who are recipients of grants from the PGA Tour, a strategic partner of the Black Press of America. But first, before we get to the news, let's bring on Barrington Salmon, journalist of the NNPA, and James Wright Jr. of the Washington Informer. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning.
And this morning we start with Hurricane Ian. Ian. Mm-hmm. You could Barrington in that Caribbean voice. He's like, listen, we got to get it right, man.
Get it right.
It's Ian.
Then James jumps in. It's Ian. But you know, the forecast is rapidly strengthening. In fact, the Category 4 storm is scheduled to hit as early as Wednesday, and the southeast of the United States is in the eye of that storm. Barrington and James, what do you know about the latest on this storm? And we can start with you, James.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad to see that I'm off of my Queen Elizabeth love suspension from this show. So thank you for having me.
You just got to lay to rest.
Basically, the latest, from what I understand, is just as what Greer pulled up that graphic as it just slammed into Western Cuba, and it's headed toward the Tampa Bay area, which is not good at all because they're not prepared for that. And then it's supposed to creep up into Georgia. I don't know whether they're going to get to Atlanta. But the point is that I've been told that people are evacuating that area, particularly the Tampa area, just like mad because they're not used to that. And, you know, Stacey, I'll say this. I had a Walter Mitty fantasy when I was a younger man of moving to Miami and living a glamorous lifestyle, but I ain't doing that no more.
Aside from that, Barrington, and we don't need James's fantasies this morning. But Cuba is today getting slammed itself. The conditions began apparently last night. They're supposed to strengthen tonight. That island is getting slammed too, Barrington.
Yeah, it always, every time that we have hurricane season, I just always shake my head because usually it's the islands that are least able to deal with these hurricanes are the ones that get slammed. Puerto Rico, I think they said they still have like 300,000 people that do not have light. They don't have water.
Yeah.
From what I heard this morning, they were expecting a lot of devastation in Cuba, the parts of Cuba that it hit. So it's unfortunate. Maybe, but if it hits if it hits Florida, maybe DeSantis might do his job as governor and stop doing all the work that he's doing trying to become president.
He's already declared a state of emergency in Florida. The Florida Keys are forecast to see 4 to 6 inches of rain. West Central Florida is forecast to see 8 to 10 inches of rain. Isolated totals up to 15 inches are possible, and the remainder of the Florida Peninsula is forecast to see up to 8 inches. So it's certainly a storm of concern for sure.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we'll continue to watch that. But Barrington, I want to segue to Brett Favre. This is a situation that, for the most part, it seemed to have flown under the radar. Earlier this year, little report came out that Brett Favre had received several $1 million for a quote, as he called it,
$5 million.
It's $5 million for a quote PSA for the public welfare down in Mississippi. Brett Favre dismissed any controversy at that time, saying, "Hey, my agent makes my deals. I know there's some sort of speaking arrangement." Well, it turns out that it was a lot more, and people are going to jail behind this massive welfare scam in Mississippi. And Brett Favre, $5 million, Barrington. Can you bring us up to speed here?
We have to thank Anna Wolf from Mississippi Today, small newspaper in Jackson. She's the one who has been dogged. She's been investigating. This is a 2 to 3 year. This is the span of this has been 2 to 3 years. There's a lawsuit filed by I think 37 groups, social groups, not social, 37 groups who are trying to recoup between $77 and $90 million that the former Alabama governor, Phil Bryant. There's a woman named New who was the head of some Mississippi nonprofit. She and her son have pled guilty. The guy who was the head of human services for Mississippi, he just pled guilty. And I don't know why they're waiting to pull in Bryant and Favre. Yeah. I put something on Facebook and I looked for it. Mississippi ranks 50th in healthcare and residents living in poverty, 49th in economy, 48th in infrastructure, 45th in the percentage of adults in either fear or poor health, 44th in opportunity, 43rd in education. It ranks at the bottom of almost all matrix in this country. And they stole money that was supposed to be for welfare recipients, TANF recipients. And and that pretty much is an illustration of how these white people roll in Mississippi, these white politicians. Jackson, Mississippi has had a lousy water distribution system forever. And it's only now that they've been shamed that they're talking about giving $200 million to help to upgrade the system that's been that way for decades.
And you see the governor and the text messages. Yeah, you're right, Barrington. Phil Bryant has to answer to this. He was just as much in the middle of this as anybody else. There's already been some legal criminal actions taken. I believe the head of the public welfare down there was charged as well. I think $70 to $90 million. Do you remember the figure there, Barrington?
They said I've seen two figures. They said between $77 and $90 million.
That he alone. It was he alone that pocketed. Am I correct?
No. This was, here's the deal. You can't use TANF money to build any buildings.
Right.
You're supposed to be giving it to families in need. So what they're saying former governor did was walk Brett Favre, Ted DiBiase, who used to be a wrestler, he and his children, and a bunch of other quote unquote wealthy or celebrity type people. He walked them through how to get the money, hopefully not to get detected. So, but because this is Brett Favre got $1.1 million for speeches that he never gave. He got an additional $4 million. And they funneled that money to the University of Southern Mississippi, right, for the volleyball court. not court, a volleyball structure
Stadium.
is because Favre's daughter was playing volleyball. Plus, he the $4 million was supposed to be for University of Southern Mississippi's football program.
Right. And indoor practice facility.
This scumbag is running around talking about he's innocent. But the email, I'm not saying what I really want to say, but the email that they found, because all of these emails came out in the court filing when these folks filed to try to get the money back. In the court filing, he was asking the woman, can we do this without, will the media find out? And asking those types of questions, and she was like, nah, it ain't gonna happen, you know, but God not sleep. God's not sleeping, right? So, yeah.
Well, again, this is about stealing from welfare, stealing from the needy. Yeah. And we're talking $90 million. And the governor of the state of Mississippi at the time, Governor Murphy, is shown to be complicit here.
Phil Bryant, not Murphy.
Bryant.
Yeah. But this the what angers me most of all is that every time that you listen to these Republicans in places like Mississippi, because listen, the governors and the legislature refuse to take Medicaid. The federal government giving them free Medicaid, and they refuse to take it. And every time I've listened to speeches and comments by Phil Bryant, and they're always talking about, you know, pulling yourself up by the bootstraps and working, being responsible, you know. So it's just a whole bunch of talk.
Mm-hmm. Well, you made a point earlier about the pro wrestler. That money was used to fund his drug rehab. Imagine that.
Yeah. And they have a bunch of pet projects that they all had, and that's what he financed. These guys are greedy. Brett Favre made $150 million during his career, and it's real interesting because there are a group of us on Facebook, some friends of mine, and every day we find something to put on to post about him and the fact that he did this, and no one's saying anything. So they just suspended his Sirius. He has a program on Sirius. They just suspended that. Yeah. And you know, folks make the comparison that Colin Kaepernick lost his career because he kneeled. He criticized Kaepernick. He's a Trump supporter.
He criticized Michael Vick.
Right? So this punk, and I mean, I went and did some reading. He sent pictures, sexually suggestive pictures to a journalist.
Oh yes, remember that? Sideline reporter.
And has done that type of thing forever, and no one says anything. That he's in the Football Hall of Fame. I'm hearing people saying that they should kick him out. I don't know if that's going to happen because he's a good old boy, and they take care of their own. So I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Well, the thing about it is that should be in play, as well as prison time should be in play. James, you mentioned that the state of Mississippi doesn't have money to fund Jackson State's stadium expansion. Talk about that, James.
Yeah, here's a situation where the state of Mississippi, who supposedly is supposed to be a fair place. That's what I've always been told by white Mississippians that I know. Oh, okay. That they don't have the money to expand Jackson State Stadium. The administration there wants to expand it because the popularity of the football program has really increased because of Deion Sanders and the great job he's done there and recruiting people there. One of my friends actually is a coach there, Gary Harrell, who used to coach at Howard. He now coaches for Deion Sanders there. So, but they don't have the money to expand for that. But then they can find money to build a volleyball facility for the University of Southern Mississippi. And by the way, Barrington just mentioned that Brett Favre has generated $150 million during his career. Sportskeeda says that Brett Favre is worth $100 million. Then what is the problem?
Because they don't want to spend their own money.
Greed.
But here's the thing. They didn't find the money, James. They stole the money from the public welfare system in Minneapolis. Mississippi. There is no contesting that. In fact, there's been convictions and there's still court proceedings going on, but that money was pilfered. There's no question about it. Let's talk about something sexy. Rihanna. It gets a little more sexier than that. She's going to headline the halftime show at next year's Super Bowl, February Super Bowl. It's coming right up. The pop singer, her record label, the NFL, and new halftime show sponsor, Apple Music, announced Sunday. The Twitter accounts of the NFL and Rock Nation, the record label that represents Rihanna, Jay-Z, posted a photo of what appears to be Rihanna's tattooed arm holding up an NFL football with the caption, "Let's go." Rihanna posted the same image on her Instagram account. So, Barrington, James, we got another halftime show to look forward to. For me personally, it's the one that I've been looking forward to since Prince.
But here's I'm conflicted because
I know where you're going.
Don't
be criticizing my girl.
The
it's
NFL
not allowed here.
Is a racist plantation.
No criticism of Rihanna is allowed on Let It Be Known. Let's take the ground rules.
That exploits the players and the other folks who happen to not be white. I wish Rihanna was more sensitive to that. I mean,
she boycotted 2 years ago. They wanted her to perform 3 years ago, 2019.
Between then and now, because the NFL hasn't improved.
What happened between then and now? Look, I'm being Rihanna's spokesperson right now, unpaid.
I hope she's paying you well.
Listen, all she has to do is appear. That's my payment. How about that?
Where's it going to be this year?
Huh?
Where's this? Arizona?
Yes.
So I'm sure you'll be there then.
James, don't let him talk about me like that. But the thing about it is what happened then and now, Jay-Z struck this still mysterious deal with the NFL.
No. Yeah. Thank you for saying mysterious.
Right.
Because he ain't done nothing. Be honest too. It's all smoke and mirrors, bruh. It's all, they paint end racism in the end zone and think that's going to be enough to change anything. It's all bullshit.
Uh-oh. What happened to the censors here?
Sorry.
But the outrage, Barrington, you're not the only one outraged. That's to be real about it. There are a lot of people who are saying what has happened, but we still haven't heard the whole story from Jay-Z, and Jay-Z probably feels like he doesn't owe us the whole story.
He sure as hell does. He does, because they run around. Listen, people like him. They put them up as the exemplars, and they put them up as the ones who are going to represent us. So if he's representing us, he needs to make us know what is going on. It's all a sham, bruh. It's a sham.
Well, James.
Yeah, right.
The Illuminati. Well, Stacey, my thing on this is that, number one, I'm glad, like you, that Rihanna is going to be entertaining. I would rather watch Rihanna than Conway Twitty or Cowboy Troy or any of them other people, because then I'll just turn around and go get my pizza, and I wouldn't be watching the halftime show. I am proud of Rihanna because she's a billionaire, and she uses the example of what America is. She is she's from the islands, Barrington, and she's come here and she was dedicated, and she became a billionaire. And if she can do it, you can do it too. That sort of thing.
Well, here's what I appreciate about Rihanna: the fact that I made this comment a few years ago. I noticed how she stopped using social media in a way that the Kardashians use it, and others. She used it more of a tool not to show her body, not to be nude, but to sell her product and to build her brand. And no one, you can throw in whomever you want, but no one has built a brand like Rihanna.
But Stacy, the real difference between Rihanna and the Kardashians is that she's
there's a huge difference.
She's intelligent.
Yes.
She's smart.
Yeah.
Savvy.
She got a big forehead, but she's beautiful.
Mhm.
She's beautiful.
She's so sexy.
And you know, because I love the fact that it's a woman, that it's a woman who's doing this. I love the fact that it's a Black woman who's doing this. You know, I don't stay up nights praying to become a billionaire. I don't, you know,
Right.
That's just some fantasy that they throw in front of us to make sure that we don't burn everything down. You know, but
you know, Barrington finds a way all the time to mention burning everything down.
if it's not working for us, what good is
Burn
it?
it down.
Burn it down. Start again.
Well, David Youngblood mentions that one halftime show that he, I believe he's referencing, and David, correct me if I'm wrong, the 1983 NBA All-Star Game. In fact, if you think if it's what I think you're talking about, it's the greatest national anthem performance ever.
By who?
Marvin Gaye. It was at the Forum in Los Angeles, 1983, I believe that was. Yes, 1983
Greater than
All-Star Game. Say again?
Greater than Whitney Houston's?
Oh, you know, Whitney's was iconic in part because of what was going on at the time. You know, the war. Marvin's will be forever the greatest in my view, at least in several others, because of how authentic it was.
Yeah.
And nobody delivered it. I wish we had a clip because no one delivered that in the way that Marvin Gaye delivered it.
James wasn't alive then, but James
had grandchildren at the time. Are you kidding me? He wasn't alive. The Marvin Gaye performance, I'm not a national anthem guy at all, but the Marvin Gaye performance, I could watch that like I watch a Prince concert. I mean, there was the way he performed that was incredible. And the scuttlebutt was that he was very high when he he had the dark shades on. But he brought soul for the first time. It was the first time somebody had ever done the national anthem differently.
Yeah.
And
was this before Whitney Houston did hers?
Long before.
Yeah, this was at least a decade before. Whitney Houston.
Okay.
You know, again, Whitney Houston's was why, you know, I mean, Whitney Houston, the voice, right? Nobody had a better voice.
Yeah.
But the timing, the Gulf War, patriotism was at a high, and not the type of patriotism that we've seen with Trump.
Yeah.
But it was at a high. It was at an extreme high at the time. But go back and watch that, Barrington.
I don't need to because I remember it. I remember.
Oh, you do remember it?
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing it. And I was blown away because I've just always loved, because as far as I'm concerned, this country wouldn't be a country without African Americans.
That's right.
Because all the spice, all the juice, all the creativity, all the innovation, all the adaptability, it's Black people doing it. I sit down sometimes and I watch TV, and almost every commercial is a Black R&B song or hip hop.
Well, hip hop is in everything, right?
Huh?
Hip hop is now in everything.
Yeah.
Fox 5, yeah.
And I remember they said that it was going to die. It was a fad.
I just hope they're getting their money.
That's the point.
That's what I just hope they're getting their money.
That's the point. Yeah.
You know,
Hey, real quick, Barrington, James, we got a few minutes. Let's talk about what everybody else is talking about. Speaking of sexy, Nia Long.
Oh, is that former congresswoman from Utah? That Black congresswoman.
Somebody cut him off the stage. Somebody cut James's mic off. Oh my God! Don't you listen? Nia's gone through enough, James. Now you're trying to put her through something else. She's gone through enough. But that situation, Barrington, James.
I just go on, James. Go on.
No, well, we'll see. I have to defer to Barrington and you on this because I am not as cognizant of such things as you all
He's
are.
not as
because,
cognizant.
you know,
We need to
I
get
just hope
James
she-
something
yeah,
to
I
drink.
hope she's happy.
We need to have a show with James sitting here drinking. Then we can know what he really thinks.
You know what I really think. Yeah.
But here's the deal, Barrington. I'm gonna give the floor to you, but I'm gonna say this: all the outrage that's going on about, oh, he cheated on Nia Long. Nia, she's just another person. She's a celebrity. She's just another person.
Yeah.
However, as Stephen A. Smith would say, and I just 99.9% of the times I disagree with Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
But this one I do agree with. But the thing about it is this: Nia Long is not really the story here. The story is this fact that the guy is an idiot. He's a complete and utter idiot, the coach of the Boston Celtics, or now the suspended coach of the Boston Celtics.
But
First
Stacey-
of all, in this era of Me Too, this era of gotcha and everybody suing everybody, sexual harassment, he has an affair with a subordinate. He is a flat out idiot.
One, they said at least two, maybe more.
At least two, maybe more. Subordinates. Not that any affair is wrong. Any affair is wrong. Let's make that point. But the thing about it is that you went all out like that. You put yourself out there like that. You put everything on the line. Was she worth this married woman too? Was she worth risking it all?
But here's the thing, Stace. All men are idiots.
Listen,
because most of the time
I know what I got at home. I ain't going nowhere.
I said most because most of them fall in the wrong head, right? And we can talk as much as we want about the men. They're not doing it by themselves, doing it with women too, right? But this dude is an idiot because
he's a complete idiot.
He left. He should have understood. He should. But I think sometimes when folks get elevated, when black people get elevated to certain positions, they start thinking that they can do what white boys do, and they get caught because I see it every day. And for me, there's a proverb in Jamaica: the higher monkey grow, the more his behind is exposed. So when folks are getting elevated to these positions, you have to carry yourself in a way that you don't leave yourself open or exposed to this type of foolishness. Because in my mind, I'm like, with what we have 8 billion people in the world and about maybe 4 or 5 billion are women. With all the women in the world, you're gonna go sleep with someone that you work with that is your subordinate. It's foolish.
It's so ridiculous. And here's the thing too. First of all, and she's a married woman. Now everybody's getting on him and his situation with Nia. The only problem that I have with that situation, the Nia situation, and with Nia, how do you allow? Talk about you engaged for 7 years. You're playing house.
Listen, Stacey. We do not live in these people's house.
No, we don't. But 7 years engagement, you got a child with him?
But how they choose to conduct the relationship is not our business.
It's not our business, but they made it our business. He made it our business. And you know what? You're foolish women. If you're living with a guy for 7 years, he ain't put the ring on it. Go. Goodbye. Tell him to take a hike.
Stacey. Look how many men put the ring on it and still do the same stuff that this.
It's true.
Does. So what's the difference?
Listen.
What matters?
Here's the difference.
Is the integrity that you have, and the honesty that you have, and the maturity that you have.
There you go.
You decide, this is the woman I want to be with, because listen, all of us could do this. All of us married people who haven't done it could do it. But like you said, I understand what I have in my wife.
We understand the assignment.
Yeah. And I'm not doing anything because as far as I'm concerned, there's nobody out there that's worth me destroying my marriage and losing my wife's trust. Nothing can be that goddamn good.
No. And plus Mimi would probably shoot you.
Oh, she would kill me. I'd be dead.
Stab you. I think she'd probably use a knife, not a gun.
She would whatever means that would be the most give me the most pain.
Pain. Oh yeah.
Oh, I'd be
You-
dead.
You'd be looking forward to like Chinese
because
water
it-
torture more so than dealing with Mimi on that one, I'm sure.
Well, hey, that's as good a
That's
deterrent.
me too.
That's as good a deterrent as I can think of.
No, the best deterrent for me is this. My wife is absolutely hot.
Hey,
She is absolutely all that, and then 2.5
Yeah.
bags of chips.
and I tell you,
I ain't going nowhere.
Mimi is beautiful. Mimi is brilliant. We click. We're in sync. We love each other. We like each other. So
Yeah.
where am I going? Because
Plus, who's gonna put up with me anyway? That's
there
my
you go.
point too.
There you go.
You know what? Ain't nobody putting up with me. Look, James, you know it's true, right? James been around me. He ain't nobody putting up with me.
Yeah.
So I kind of
So your wife should get in
won the
combat pay.
contest.
Your wife should be getting combat people putting up with you.
Yeah, she deserves the combat pay. Shoot. No, but you know what? It was never, to me, the thing with Nia Long is this, and it's not, and in no way blaming her, but you can't be playing house for 7 years. And
But that's her
especially, listen,
That's her choice, though.
no, it's her choice, but then these are the consequences. Because here's the
No,
thing.
No, but
You are around these NBA stars, and what's around these, and this guy's a coach. Women say he's a good-looking guy too. Head coach of the Boston Celtics. So as much as they throw these groupies and stuff throwing themselves at people like LeBron James, they throwing themselves at this coach.
But
right?
the same thing. But Nia could be. Nia's in the same position because she's an actress. She's a
Right.
celebrity. She fine.
And they
But based on what I know, I don't know everything. She carried herself in a way that she wasn't out there sleeping with all these people. So it's
Right.
a matter of personal choice and integrity.
listen, I'm not blaming at all Nia for his indiscretions.
I don't
But
blame-
what I am saying here is that you play house, and sometimes, you know what? This is what's going to happen.
But-
Too many people play house. 7 years. Talking about you engaged for 7 years. Don't take it. Women,
But you
don't.
make it,
My daughters, ain't no
you make-
man going to talk about, I don't care how old I might get, how old they might be. Ain't no man living in the house with my daughter, and you ain't got nothing official.
but
An engagement is not official.
Mm.
An engagement is far from official.
But you're acting like the man put a gun to her head. You don't know that she's the one that said she didn't want to get married. That
Hey,
she wanted to be in a committed
Then
relationship.
she shouldn't
not
be
married.
mad. Then
It should be her.
if she didn't want to marry him, she shouldn't be mad. She should still be with him. Then she should
God,
expect
please.
and anticipate and accept
If I was
the
close
fact that
by-
this guy
was
is going to
close
run
by-
around town with every little chick that comes around. There's too many of these chicks out there. Too many of them. They come to the basketball game. They wear no clothes. They wear see-throughs. There's a picture of Halle Berry of all people. Halle Berry and James, hold yourself. There's a picture of Halle Berry, a famous video at a Laker game when Kobe Bryant was alive,
Yeah, I saw that.
salivating.
So
I
what?
mean, openly salivating.
So what?
No, and I'm just saying, this is the
He's human.
temptation that's
He's human.
out there.
He's
That
human.
temptation is lessened, I think, if you married.
No, that's not true.
It should be.
It should be, but it's not.
So-
Go look at the stats, Stacy.
How would you listen? You're gonna put Mimi to the test. If Halle Berry is salivating over Barrington Salmon like she was over
ain't no
Kobe
test.
Bryant, who was married,
Ain't no
Mhm,
test. Ain't no
mhm,
test because
There's no
Halle can
test?
Halle can salivate all she wants because I'm coming home to my wife.
you going home to your wife, but you
Yeah.
might make a pit stop.
Oh, I'm not making no pit
No
stop.
pit stop, no stop here, no
And-
stop at the motel.
Oh, and you know, it's interesting.
They ain't leaving the
because-
lights on at Motel 6 for you.
No.
No.
Listen. I'm gonna.
I
be-
wouldn't mess with Halle either. I think she's crazy.
She's crazy.
She's
I'm
beautiful,
gonna
but
be
she's crazy.
5 years old on.
She ruined so many men like Kardashians do.
It's fine.
She's the black Kardashian. She
No,
ruins men.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. She's not like that. I'm gonna be 65 this coming weekend.
What?
All of the craziness
Dad.
that I did when I was young. Yeah. Man. Yeah. That's what what's name did.
Barrington, how'd you get to be 65?
How what?
How'd you get to be 65?
By God's grace, because I'm not supposed to be here.
65?
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations, but my gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah, Barrington, I didn't know.
I didn't either.
65.
Mimi, where's Mimi at? Let's bring Mimi on the camera. I got to talk to her.
Mimi,
Where's Mimi at?
Stacey needs a moment of time.
Listen, Mimi, I got to say something to Mimi, but we got to go. Barrington done closed the show now. He's 65 years old. Where's Kevin Hart when I need him?
Mimi is the reason why I look so good.
Okay.
Hey.
So why
Barrington, you know,
Ali?
Barrington, hey, let me tell you something. From one man to another man, Barrington's got a son that is, you talk about somebody, women salivate over that dude.
Yeah.
That dude, that's a handsome dude.
I've seen pictures of him, yes.
Julian is the man.
He is.
Yeah.
But anyway, on that note, we got way off track. Listen,
he doesn't.
we have CBC Week. Join us all week. We're going to have some, we're told we're going to have Brenda Lawrence at some point this week, the Congresswoman out of Michigan. We're told we're going to have other folks too. So y'all got to tune in to Let It Be Known. And again, Thursday is the NMPA's National Leadership Reception. Chrisette Michelle, the Grammy winner, will be the feature performer for the reception Thursday night. Keep joining us all week on Let It Be Known. Thanks for watching.